Welcome to 17 Strong. Victories don't come by accident. Here's your host, Steve Teixeira.
Thanks, Andy. Welcome to another 17 Strong podcast. I'm your host, Steve Teixeira, along with my beautiful wife, Holly. Hi, babe.
Hi.
So today we have, as always, they're always a special guest, but we
Yes,
have
they are.
a Victory Trip recipient with us today.
We do. We love when they come back and join us. So I'm super excited to introduce to you Leslie Hedges.
Hey guys.
Did I say it right?
Oh yeah, you're
Okay,
awesome.
good. Okay. I just want to make sure, heck, I don't want it to be wrong. How are you today?
I'm good.
Good.
Good. Trucking along.
I'm
just
so excited you're
making
here.
making life work right now.
Good.
It's a little.
That's
love
what
it.
we all have to do.
That's
with,
I think we all
with
like
COVID
every
and
month.
everything. Yeah.
Yep.
We're like figuring out who we are now, and
I know.
we're like, oh, we can do this now, and oh, we know how to do this.
We get excited.
Yeah.
We get excited. I know. That's so great. That's great. And everything, everything's opening up a little more and more. So
It is. We
yeah.
San Luis Obispo County just moved into red from purple.
Right.
So I guess some nail salons and some
yeah.
restaurants can see inside.
Inside.
I've been looking forward to that.
I know. Hey, I know mine are horrible, so
Man,
it's all good.
I had to just break down one day and was like, I'm gonna wear 2 masks and we'll sit outside, but I need a pedicure. 'Cause I don't.
We
it
don't want
was-
to look at that because
well,
it's like
I'm
6
doing-
months. Yeah,
It was nice and warm, and I was wearing
Yeah.
flip flops, and I'm like, 4 by feet.
we need these.
Yeah.
We need the things we look forward to for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about your victory trip and maybe let's rewind. Let's talk about how you learned about or you heard about 17 Strong first, because I know that was I remember you were kind of on the back burner for a while and it was kind of up in the air. So tell us, how did you find out about 17 Strong first?
Well, I'm living in the Central Coast, and
Mm-hmm.
always us being such a tight knit community, where they're in northern Santa Barbara County or southern San Luis County, or vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
We all are just a tight fit
Yep.
of a community, and we all just know about our local warriors. And so I learned a lot about Ryan and his battles and his victories and his accomplishments through the news and
Yeah.
through online and articles and such.
That's right.
And then learning through 17 Strong came from that. And
Now, was it
Yeah,
easy
that's
for
hard.
you to put that together? Because a lot of times people in our community don't put Ryan Teixeira with 17 Strong. So was that easy for you to get that Ryan started?
I think it was 2 independent things.
Mhm.
And then I found the correlation
Yep.
between the two. And there wasn't a whole lot of press, I guess, in a way,
Mhm.
of 17 Strong in the beginning. And so it was just like, what?
Well, it was
There's-
Ryan about all
Right,
this stuff. And then
right.
we were trying to, because that obviously was Ryan started it prior to everything happening, but couldn't do anything with it because
Correct.
of his being so sick. So that's interesting. Tell me what year you got diagnosed.
2017, 4 days before Christmas. So 12/21/2017.
2017.
A little ironic, huh? The
I
whole
know.
17 Strong in 2017.
I know.
I have the 17 tattoo now
I-
on my neck.
I saw that and was so excited when I saw that because I kept saying nobody has a 17 Strong tattoo yet,
Yeah.
but there it is. There it is.
There's
I
quite
meant a
few
victory trip.
17 Strong tattoos out there.
Yeah, but not with a victory trip recipient.
Yeah.
So I was like,
Yeah.
woo, this is exciting.
Somebody just wanted to be a first.
I know. There you go. There you go. And
leave it to Leslie.
Leave it to Leslie, that's right.
Always leave it to
oh,
me.
I figured that out, huh? And you were diagnosed with breast cancer.
I was.
Okay.
I actually had 2 different kinds of breast cancer. Only one tumor was showing up on all scans. It was the IDC tumor, which is called invasive ductal carcinoma. That is metastatic. That is a spreading tumor to any other parts of your body if you don't catch it in
Mhm.
time. But when they got in there to do the mastectomy, they found 7 other tumors, and those were DCIS tumors.
Oh my gosh.
So those are called ductal carcinoma in situ, and that just means they're encapsulated. So they're tumors, and they can grow larger to whatever size they do if they're not caught, but they do not metastasize. They do not spread throughout the body.
Oh, gotcha. So the
But
2
they're
different
still
types.
they're
And
still
that's
cancer.
rare, isn't it?
It is more rare, but it's they're both just battling. They're just both right there.
Okay.
But IDC is more prevalent.
Aggressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And what was your regiment once you found that out? It is Christmas time now, you said, and so you're trying to deal with all the stress of
Totally.
of cancer in general. And so, what was your regiment like? Did you do chemo first? Did you do your surgery first? Because all of it's different with everybody.
Well, I mean, being before 4 days before Christmas, it was the first time that my full sister had visited in 13 years.
Oh.
And here I took it all upon myself and then saying that, wow, here I'm the bad news person. Here I'm the Grim Reaper. I'm the one that has to break all these people's hearts and tell them around Christmas. And I asked my cousin Lori, the one that nominated me,
Mm-hmm.
what do I do? Do I keep it? I want to keep it to myself. I don't want to hurt anybody before Christmas. I'd rather tell them afterwards. Can we keep it a secret? Because she was the only one that knew besides her and my boss.
Oh.
I went to work that day.
Wow.
I worked a full shift and then broke down and told my boss afterwards.
Oh my
But
gosh.
so with it all, we clinically, which is before the surgery, staged me at stage 1.
Okay.
During or after the surgery, when they pull the tumors and they do everything they're going to do and they send it to pathology, you get a medical stage.
Gotcha.
That went from stage 1 to stage 3B. So I was, so to speak, inches from stage 4
Oh.
because
Wow.
of the volume of tumors I had and the fact that it had got into my lymphatic system.
Okay.
So there was 19 lymph nodes removed, 14 were positive. That's a pretty high volume.
That is.
Wow.
And there's always higher. I mean,
Yeah.
I try to strive to be the
You're right. You're
the
like,
best,
go
just
figure.
push it over the edge. I'm not. But it was a juggle because we were trying to figure out what kind of surgery I wanted to do, what was physically best for me.
Mhm.
My thing is I wanted to get back to my life and be there for my family
Mm.
Sure.
and be able to survive through it all. So
Sure.
I wanted to have the least amount of surgeries and not do implants, worrying about encapsulation, rejection,
Right.
or swapping after 10 to 20 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I decided to do what is called a tram flap bilateral mastectomy.
Okay.
So I did prophylactic on the right side, which is removing the right side just because my chances were still 85% for it
To
coming on the
return.
right side.
Right.
Yeah, to return or to attack the right side.
Okay. So it was just easier to decide that both of
Oh,
them
yeah.
doubled.
Gone.
Okay.
Um, then so we took everything, did everything, and it just didn't work out. There's a multitude of reasons why.
Mm.
Those reasons will also come to clarity with my new surgery coming up.
Okay.
So we did the tram flap. We then intended to go straight into chemo as soon as I healed.
Oh.
I was supposed to, my wounds should have been healed anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks. That didn't happen.
Mm.
Surgery was end of February. We keep having to postpone the chemo. Chemo didn't start on time. So we
So
just,
you didn't do any chemo prior
no.
to surgery. Gotcha.
So it was surgery, chemo, radiation.
Okay. So you did end up having to do radiation as well.
Oh, yeah, full.
Okay.
Chemo was 16 rounds. We ended up doing only 15 due to the fact that some of the side effects I was having could have become long-term,
Oh.
even if I did a light 16th round or a full 16th round, it would have possibly caused those side effects to be permanent.
Oh, wow.
And the doctor said, well, at this point, you've done so many and you're going into radiation. I feel confident that you don't need that 16th treatment.
Wow.
So I did 3 different kinds of chemo. So
like a mixture of them all.
a
Yeah.
chemo cocktail.
Yeah, that's what they call it.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
So the
Just
first
what you want.
4 were like 2 different kinds of chemo. One was adriamycin. They call it the Red Devil.
Yep.
It's hand pushed. It feels funky if they go too fast.
Oh yeah.
So
Ryan had that horrible one
yeah, they did that for 4 treatments
Okay.
every other week.
too. Mm-hmm.
And then after that was 12 treatments of weekly of the
Oh.
3rd chemo.
Gotcha. Okay. Infusion though.
Correct.
It was infusion, wasn't the pill. Okay.
correct. It
Okay,
was through a
and-
port.
Remind me if what were you? Were you hormone positive, HER2 positive? What were you on those?
Chemo brain.
I know.
I was HER2 positive, but I was not triple negative.
Oh,
I know
gotcha.
that part.
Okay.
Triple negative is
No, that's intense.
it is the
very,
worst.
it is. It's very hard.
Besides the staging, that is the worst kind of cancer you can have, because once you do chemo radiation and you have to do the full shoot and match,
Right.
they make you do another regimen after radiation, I believe, or after your chemo ends, and that is another 6 months to a year of infusions
sure.
of something else.
It's like a maintenance program is what they
It
kind of
is.
call it. And yeah, so I don't know, breast cancer, it's so wide range of what treatment is and
Correct.
how they the protocol of it. So that's why I always like to ask people individually, because it is just so different. And like you had your surgery first. A lot of times they'll do chemo first and then
Correct.
surgery. And so yeah, I
And
like to hear about that.
there was never any explanation why we did chemo
The
first.
way it
We
did.
didn't do chemo first.
Yeah.
I think it was because they thought it was just the one tumor and it was pretty small, and so they didn't think that it had spread.
Oh.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
And that was my tumor's hiding.
sure.
So
And you were treated locally, correct?
I was treated at Santa Maria at Marion,
Okay.
which is actually Mission Hope
Yes.
Cancer Center.
Great
It's
program.
amazing.
Yeah,
program.
for sure. For sure. We love them there, and they do really great. So that's okay, so now let's get back. Let's get into I believe how old were you when you were diagnosed?
I was 39.
39. Okay, so that's when we had
Yeah.
decided, because we, as you know, we were new. I mean, 17
Right.
Strong is still new. So we were deciding, like, what is going to be our age cutoff and how is that going to work? And you were kind of in the back of my mind when I'm thinking about this, because Lori, who is your cousin,
Lori Wolf, yeah.
she and I were in constant communication about how we can get Leslie on the books for a victory trip. And
Yeah.
so, what was your feeling when that actually all transpired? When I started, did I contact you?
Yeah, you contacted me. It was right in the midst of chemo,
Oh, it
or right before
was.
chemo, because it was delayed.
Okay,
And
this is
it
interesting.
kind of blurs. It's almost like that thing where your brain kind of puts stuff in a file cabinet, and it's like you
Sure.
remember enough to defend yourself or explain yourself, but the traumatic parts, your brain's like, we can push that in the file
Yeah.
cabinet on the
Yeah.
way
Yeah.
back. So yeah, you contacted me. You're like, you got this. I was like, stop it.
Oh,
Immediate tears, immediate laughter, immediate screaming,
oh, good.
happy dance in the living room,
Right.
just balled over. That is probably one or two of the most strength giving things that got me through my
Through.
treatment,
Wow.
that got me through my radiation.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Because I was just like, dude, do this. You got to do
I
this.
got-
You got to
I
do
got-
this.
I gotta get-
I got to go. I
I
get a
got
free
light at the end
vacation.
of the tunnel.
I'm like, yes,
That is so
vacation time.
cool.
You
Yeah.
got to go. You got to be healthy. Just do
Yeah,
it. Figure
for
it out.
sure. And that's funny, because you're not the first person that's told us that because what I normally try to do is I try to get in after the treatment is done,
Gotcha.
and then I will start talking to people, because you never know. There's so
No.
many uncertainties, and you're just thinking, oh gosh. So when I get involved, like, I'm like, they have kicked cancer's butt already. Like,
Right.
this is where I am. I can go in and we can plan a victory trip. So this was I didn't realize I had come in kind of in the middle of your
Yeah.
treatment and said, hey, let's see what. So you were able to dream about what you wanted to do.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And so we had said, what 3 things did you want to do? And you had come up with which one?
I came up with Lagos, Portugal. Portugal.
Portugal.
There you go.
Portugal. I love it. So why did you choose that one? I mean, because we ended up, I mean,
Yeah.
wasn't that your first choice?
It was one of 3.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't
can't
think it was
remember.
my first choice per se, but I tried and I game planned with friends. I asked people
I
on
love that.
Facebook, and I asked family, and my thing was I didn't want too much of a communication
Sure.
barrier, language barrier. We also wanted something that was a country that wasn't in turmoil.
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
So it was safe for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then we wanted something that had gorgeous beaches, and not just beaches, but that was big on wine, because I'm
Oh,
in the
that's
service industry,
right.
and so I wanted something where we could go and do wine tasting or Porto tasting and enjoy that, and kind
Okay.
of bring that education back to my restaurant that I
How
work.
fun.
And
So you
Portugal
really
was
thought
a great
that.
choice for that.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah. And you did do a wine tour?
We did do many different things. So
Ooh.
we did a food crawl. That was
Okay,
necessary.
stop there.
Food crawl.
This guy likes food, so.
Hello.
Let's talk about. We go
So
on
what-
vacations just about food.
What is the one thing that you ate in Portugal that you just can't top anyplace else?
Honestly, hands down, the chicken. They're known for roasted chicken, not just bacalhau, which
Oh.
is salt cod, but they're really known for this roasted chicken. And there's this
Ooh.
marinade, this red marinade that they use, and it's just roasted. And we had went on a boat trip one day, and we were like, okay, my good friend is from Madeira, Portugal, and where do we go to eat?
Yeah.
And she's like, you got to try
The
roast
locals.
chicken. But I'm like, well, where roast chicken? Do
Yeah.
we do a touristy place or a locals place? No. I want a hole in the wall. I want local families. I want mom and pop. I
Yeah.
want the heart of the area. And so we asked the captain of one of the little boats that we were on, and he was like, this place. And we were like, awesome. So we took a cab and we went, and literally picnic tables out front, 4 picnic tables out front, 3 tables in the
Wow.
restaurant. The kitchen was 3 times the size of the sitting area.
Yeah.
So they could have enough room to roast.
Sure.
It's the dad, the daughter runs the front, like the mom
Oh, I
helps,
love
the
this.
cousins and uncles help. And it's just this local place. And you just go in, you're like, okay, what do I want? $3 for a glass of wine.
$3. Oh my gosh, that's insane.
So we had,
So
excuse me.
I'm gonna venture to say you had multiple.
Yeah.
Multiple glasses. of
Yeah.
wine.
Well, I think that night I did too.
Okay,
But I
that's
was
good, though.
definitely abiding because I had not drank in like 10 months,
right.
10,
right.
11 months.
So
So I
you
was
really got
just
to take it
like,
easy.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
I
You had
could
to-
not handle my
Well,
beverages
at-
for a while.
For sure, yeah, and right. How cool though? What an experience. So tell me how the beaches were. Were they what you expected, or were they a little different?
The beaches were gorgeous. I have to admit, because we got so busy with doing this tour
Sure.
and doing things on our bucket lists and going on boat tours,
Uh
that
oh.
we never went in the water.
Oh, you're kidding. You forgot afterwards. You're like, oh,
We
darn.
You get those things where you go for the
Oh,
first
yeah.
2 days, and then it's like the 3rd day, 4th day you crash, and you're like, I
Oh,
need
jet lag is
sleep.
real. Yeah.
And you're like, stay in the room till 3, and then we're like, what are we doing?
yeah. What are we
Get
doing
up,
here?
let's go. So we definitely ate at that place twice.
Awesome.
But we definitely talked about another future trip because it is so reasonable to live there.
That's awesome.
And that area of Portugal that we went to, Lagos, was just super gorgeous. Local, but so much history.
Oh, I
in
love the
town.
history part.
So many beautiful buildings, but then not overly touristy,
Sure.
but very easy to handle both aspects.
Great.
And so I loved it. And I looked into actually renting a place out there because that was kind of like another bucket list thing that I added
Oh.
to go back and maybe stay for a month or 2 during like an off season here.
That
and
is
go over there.
crazy. Just to work and do. Yeah.
400 US, 500 US, and you can get a gorgeous 1-bedroom apartment furnished. Everything
Wow.
pretty much included.
Wow. That's
Pool,
insane.
community, all of it. And
That
I was
is
like,
really cool.
yeah,
I like
think
that.
I can save that,
That
and
is
figure that
so
out.
cool.
But life changes some, and so you're just like, this will happen eventually, but
Yeah.
maybe not right away.
Maybe
like I
not right
wanted.
away. Exactly.
So roasted chicken.
Steve's back on
okay.
the food.
Well, no, but I want to know what was the highlight of the trip then.
Oh.
So we know what the highlight of the food was.
Mm-hmm.
What's the highlight of the trip?
Well, you and I know what we like.
Mm-hmm.
So the food crawl.
Food. Yeah.
Because it wasn't just a food crawl. It was in a history and a food crawl and an alcohol crawl. So it was
All in
everything.
one.
All in one. This gentleman was an expat. He was born and raised in Portugal. Moved into New York for a while and lived there in New York. Just too expensive, too hustle.
Sure.
And he got burnt out. And then
So he spoke really good English.
perfect English,
Oh, I love
perfect Portuguese.
that. Okay.
And I try to pronounce it correctly out of respect because I fell in love with it.
No,
so
I
much.
love it. I think that's
Um,
good.
But he taught me, more Portuguese, and he could explain the history of, the earthquakes that they experienced in the
Oh.
1700s and how it decimated so many cities and how big the waves were from the earthquake and the
Oh,
damage and the
amazing.
fires.
Yeah.
And we got to tour around the city and going into where people live and up and down the streets, and then take us to this tiny little restaurant, local mom and pop places, and it was just over the moon.
That's like
That's awesome.
Over
that's
the
in our
moon.
bucket list.
So
We
it's
got to
like,
do something like that.
I'm telling you,
Ugh,
just
sounds
just
amazing.
the only thing that I would have to say that I might have to adjust is bringing my own memory foam topper.
Oh, because the beds were terrible.
They say, I thought it was just our hotel that had hard, like brick hard beds.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, can we get another bed or another room? Or could you have some extra things? And they're like, oh, that's what the Portuguese like.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like,
Oh.
really? And they're like, yeah, we're a hardworking culture. And by the time we want to go to bed, we need support for our backs. And we just sleep on rock hard beds. And all of
All of
Portugal
them.
is like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like,
Unreal.
okay, so a new
Spain was
respect.
like that too.
So like a new
Yeah.
respect for it.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Super interesting.
I
I
wouldn't-
love
I
stuff
wouldn't
like
mind a
that.
hard bed,
Yeah, he
but-
likes that. That's
no.
so interesting.
Not
I
with the
love-
hips.
Yeah. And
Not with the hips. I need that little
Exactly.
support in between.
well, and I remember when I first met you, we went to a coffee shop and stuff, and you were telling me like certain like things when people have breast cancer.
Oh,
that,
yeah.
that you needed to invent because remember
Uh-huh.
the seatbelt went right over
Yeah,
your
the
chest,
seatbelt
and
goes
you're
right
thinking
here.
You don't even notice that. You don't realize the
All
little things.
mile
Riding in a
long.
car.
Mile long list of
Right.
things that we MacGyvered. I have always been kind of a MacGyver-esque
Yeah.
girl kind of person, and you have to deal and experience the difficulties and what's not going to work in order to figure out what you can make work.
Exactly.
The JP drains, the drains that you have coming
right.
out of
Remember
your body.
we were talking about robes and
Oh,
how you
yes.
needed to put little pockets in the robes
Yes.
because remember the drains that Ryan had. The breast cancer has to have the same thing. The
Yeah.
same drains.
Any surgical trauma where they're moving tissue, taking out tissue, putting in tissue, there's going to be fluid trauma. And so they need to put a thing called a JP drain in your body to drain out that excess so that you don't
Yes.
create seromas or hematomas.
Yeah. So they're it's crazy because you don't think about like where am I supposed to put this when I wear my jeans? Where am I supposed to put this when I'm, sleeping or, or riding in the car and things like that
Right.
that it was eye-opening when I was able to talk to you about certain things and you're like, just a seatbelt, like you need to have a cushion or you need something. So
Just
that was
how to
really
sleep.
cool. Yeah.
How to get in bed.
Yeah.
How to lift me up because now I had trauma to my abdomen, grabbing muscle and skin
Sure.
to rebuild my chest, so I didn't have to use implants, and I couldn't use my arm strength because that deals with your pectoralis muscles.
Absolutely.
So we had to create a way to pick me up. And so that's the thing I think that the medical industry
Mm-hmm.
does not address.
Right. And they don't talk about it because you're
know.
like, I had no idea until you're in the middle of it.
And I
going,
really didn't find the support groups until after I'd already been through it and out of it almost.
oh,
Mhm.
wow.
And that, I think it was just because Lori had me going, and it wasn't a bad thing. She was like, you can feel what you feel,
Mhm.
but you can't stay in it.
Yeah.
Feel the stress, feel the pity me, feel the sad day, feel the pain for a couple hours, but then that's it. We're
Right.
going to the beach.
And
We're
don't you think that
going
mindset
somewhere.
is a lot of it? 90% of it, I feel like.
Easy.
Mindset.
Like
Mindset.
like in a fighter, an athlete.
Absolutely.
100% of you think is going to be the body. No, it's 75% mental, 25% athleticism
Mm-hmm.
and ability. And you don't realize
You
you
don't.
have to be so strong. So I think my opinion going into cancer, if somebody's diagnosed, if you know of somebody that just got diagnosed, I know somebody that sadly just got diagnosed. Lord help her. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's really hard because they don't talk about all these tips and tricks and coming up with a pillow to stick the seatbelt in, just cushion
Absolutely.
the breast as well as contain the seatbelt so that you don't get kinked. Showers. Those drains are hanging off of you. You have to be undressed when you shower.
Yep.
So I came up with lanyards and a way, like a coat hanger hook thingamajigger, and figured out ways to hang them off of
Duct
my
tape.
neck.
Yeah.
Duct tape
You're
next
like-
time. We're sure.
Duct tape worked for my hair.
Wow.
When they tell you that your hair is going to hurt and your hair is going to start falling out, it doesn't always fall out by itself. You have to actually physically pull it out.
Oh, yikes.
I didn't have a problem.
Yeah.
Well,
that's a whole nother issue.
Neither did I for a while. And then as you see, I keep buzzing it off.
Oh my god.
I can't get enough of playing around with my hair. But
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so let's go over Lori for a minute because talk about Lori for a minute because she is the person that helped you. She took care of you, but not only that, you invited her to your victory trip. Your trip. So is that talk about her for a minute?
I thought we weren't going to make me cry.
I know.
I put all my makeup on. I
she's
was like,
awesome.
yay, excuse to get all dolled up. And now you're going to make me cry.
Well, I think she's
Um,
important,
They're
don't you?
they're happy tears. And
They
it's
are.
okay.
Yeah.
And I'm going to cry because I love Lori so much, and I know that she means so much to you. So
Yeah, and I think no matter what I say right now, words will never,
right.
ever explain nor quantify the amount of support and love that I have for that woman. The support she's giving me and the love that I have for her.
Right.
Our whole family is blessed to have her in our lives, that she has been kind of our whole entire family's caregiver.
But she's
um,
like,
Her brother
carved
got
out-
in a major motorcycle accident when he was 16, so she became his primary caregiver besides his parents, my uncle and my aunt. And then my grandpa had dementia and Alzheimer's. She became his primary caregiver besides my
Wow.
mom and I when I was a teenager, and then me, and then now kind of her mom,
right.
and then now my mom, because I'm going to be out on surgery, so my mom needs help.
Sure.
And the fact that everything employment wise has always worked for her to
Mhm.
where she could schedule her family as a priority over the career.
Wow.
And she was literally she was with me every single day of my treatment. In the beginning, it was tax season, so she had to handle that. And so
Right.
I hired in-home health care.
Gotcha.
That was expensive, $10,000 for a month and a half, 24-hour care.
Yikes. Yeah.
So thanks, Aflac.
Yeah, you're like, wow. Shout out to them, huh?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
then when
But there's
tax
nothing
season
like
went over-
family.
no, because we are so connected. We call each other sister cousins now because we are so connected that her and I could literally look at each other and give each other just a certain look.
Yeah.
And she knows exactly how I'm feeling. I know exactly how she's feeling. We do these lunches at least minimum, where we go out to lunch at least once or twice a week. She's caring for me still every day. I still have in-home health support services
Wow.
because I'm still very limited physically to some capacity with my abdomen through the trauma of surgery
Sure.
and the failure of my surgeries, my chest, my arms,
Of course. Yeah.
my brain from day to day.
Oh, I know. Right.
So I
It's like-
still have her help every day, but we do these lunches once or twice a week, and she's just like, "What are you feeling like today?"
Mm,
And we're right there, and I know
Right.
exactly what she wants. She knows exactly what I want, but there's those days where she can tell by just the tone of my voice,
Yeah, for
the
sure.
cracking in my voice, anything. She's like, "What's wrong?
Yeah.
Don't tell me no, because I can see it all
I
over you."
know. Yeah, I know you better than that.
It's so
for sure.
second nature for her, and as selfless as she's been her whole life to our family, I could not imagine taking anybody else. I
Right.
love my mom dearly, and I
Right.
would wanted my mom to go, but I think for a multitude of reasons, not just
Mhm.
for the selflessness for 2 full years,
Mhm.
in addition to this last year of just helping me and getting me through these additional surgeries, that she's been there for our whole family. So she just
Yeah.
deserved this gift.
Oh yeah.
And we kind of were up in the air with when we were going and what we were doing. And then all of a sudden it just clicked. And it was ironic that the day we were coming home from the trip, it was her birthday. So the whole entire trip was a birthday gift too.
I
Oh,
just
that's
got
awesome.
goosebumps. I don't think
I
I knew
know.
that.
This
I got
was just-
goosebumps.
No, her birthday was just yesterday.
I didn't realize, and it was a year ago.
It was
And
a
it was a
year
year
ago.
ago, yes,
Mm.
a
I
year ago
didn't
yesterday that we were
realize
coming home from
that.
Portugal. And we, in the last week, because we posted things every day, in the last week, we've been able to go through Facebook
The memories.
and see
I love that.
all the pictures and all the things that we wrote about. And
Oh,
it just brought tears to my eyes.
I love,
how much
love,
she
love
loves me.
that.
Everybody needs a friend like that.
A
And it,
friend, a family member,
yeah.
whatever it is. I mean, I just adore her because I mean, she's who I was talking to prior to talking to you. So
Right.
that was just, it's just, I just love her. So I think that's awesome. But I do want to talk a little bit about, you had, I don't know really how to say this, but I know you had a cancer scare. And
Recently.
it's a lot. I mean, when you have scans and you have things, anxiety is stress, it's
PTSD.
real. It's real and
Mhm.
I know that. And it wasn't just one scare. So do you want to talk, can you talk us
Yeah.
through that cuz that's it's a lot.
I guess the way I look at things is some people were put on this earth just to live. Some people are put on this earth to be teachers. The wise people, the this, the that. I just happen to think that I was put here to go through a lot of crap in life
This is awful.
from childhood to now
Right.
that has just made me stronger and made me to where I can teach people other things. Don't go through my
Right.
path, or it's okay if you go through this because look at me now.
Mhm.
It just makes you stronger. It
It
makes
makes
you
you a
wiser,
better
and it's
person.
okay. And so, yeah. So 2 out of 3 of the recent cancer scares were negative. What they were was I had a black mole on my back,
Oh.
and they removed it in the office with the dermatologist, and she said it's whether it's going to come back funky or not, you'll know in this amount of time, but I'm going to tell you right now, most likely it's going to come back funky,
Wow.
but I can't guarantee if it's going to be melanoma or squamous cell. Squamous cell just means that it's not in your bloodstream. It's not going to like spread and be really dangerous.
Oh.
Melanoma is way dangerous.
Oh.
It could, melanoma can be
So
something
she gave
small or
you
something
two of
big.
those?
So
Either or that was going to be?
right. She's like, most likely based on the color and based on what it looks like, I'm going to tell you it's going to come back funky. Cool. And then in that same, this was all happening in 1 week too.
Right.
I then had been having new side effects in my breast area and in my
Mhm.
armpits and in
Oh.
my non-cancerous side, and I was having, pains and flutters and these electrical firings and all these weird things going off, and
Mm.
then something just started to feel off in my body, and our women's tuition just
Yeah,
starts firing.
for sure.
My cognitive started getting overwhelmed, and I'm like, okay, is this stress? Is this pandemic?
Yeah, there's a
Because
lot
of course we're
going
going
on.
through COVID right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Is this what?
Mhm.
And then for me, there was two kinds of cancer scares. There's a paranoia, hypochondriac, so to
Mhm.
speak, cancer scare and worry. And then there's the intuitive, I know for
Something's
sure
wrong.
something's wrong.
Right.
Right.
And we still don't know. But the breast cancer came back negative. So
So
that was
that's
awesome.
great.
It's just necrotic tissue. It's just all the
Sure.
damage from previous that's infiltrating other areas and making problems for me,
Sure.
period.
Right.
The third, just had a regular dentist appointment, teeth cleaning. Finally got up the nerve to do it with COVID around
Right.
and worried about cavities or
Yeah, I mean,
damage to my pockets of my teeth because the
yep.
chemo
Chemo does
causes
crazy stuff. Yeah.
horrible damage to your teeth. Um, and the um, dental hygienist looked at my tongue, and all of a sudden she was like, and I just try to ignore it all, and just worried about cavities. And she goes, "Can you move your tongue again?" She's like, "Do you feel this?" And I go, "Feel what?" And she goes, "Well, I'll be right back. I need to go talk to somebody else to come in here and look at something." And I said, "Okay, so I'm going to tell you right now, I'm a cancer survivor and recent, and I have 2 other cancer scares in my wheelhouse right this minute during this week. I need to just spit it out. I don't care what you think it is. I don't care if you're allowed
Yeah.
to, just spit it out." And she's like, "You have a lesion on your tongue, and it could very well be something disconcerting." Okay,
Oh, wow. So did you get that one biopsy?
not yet.
Okay.
That one's not till October 1st. And I'm just like, what? Oral cancer? What?
What is that
I'm a
about?
foodie. You can't
Yeah,
take
you
my
can't take your
tongue.
tongue away. That's
I'm a
right.
talker, as we can see.
Like
I mean, you can't
yeah,
take
I
my
can't do
tongue.
that. That's crazy.
And I had been having, so it's on the lower right side of my tongue. And then I've been having a lot of tender pains in through my neck right here. And that's kind of like in that same vicinity.
Okay.
And oral cancer definitely usually does go into the throat a lot of the time.
Oh.
Sometimes it's contained into the mouth. So I thought it was just the two masses on my thyroid that we've been keeping surveillance on to make sure that doesn't become cancerous as well.
Okay.
I thought it was just that, or my lymphatic system just giving me grief.
Sure. Exactly.
But we don't know if it is that. I'm praying every day that it's just like leukoplakia,
Yeah.
which is a benign cancer, but it is precancerous. So
Gotcha.
they do carve off all that tissue.
Mm.
But I'm like, no, you can't take my tongue and then try to
Yeah.
rebuild it because
That's
you
so
can't
good.
take muscle and tissue from anywhere
That is
else. I'm not going to have
crazy.
any
Wow.
left.
That's so
You've had a rough
weird.
couple weeks.
Yeah.
You
But
know,
the one on the back, did you get that result back?
that was negative as well.
That's
And
awesome.
she said it on a range from mild to average to severe,
Yeah.
it's mild. So
So 2 out of the 3
are
are
good to go.
negative.
I'm just like,
Nothing.
the Lord's got me.
Yes,
And we won't know
absolutely.
until
October 1st,
For the tongue
before
thing.
my 12 days before my next surgery.
Right. Okay,
Um,
so let's talk about the surgery.
Oh,
Let's talk about
goodness.
that. Yeah, let's talk about that. So you have to get another surgery because why? Like plain
as of-
terms.
well,
I don't know how to
put
say
it
that.
put it simple. I have a lot of necrotic tissue, which is dead tissue.
Gotcha.
I have a lot of scar tissue. I have a lot of traumas. Healing was horrible.
Right.
My body, either is because I was so sick, just the luck of the draw, or surgical error. We won't know until we get in there.
Okay.
But it's pretty bad. They're going to have to replace muscle. They literally have an area where they need to take out skin and put a new patch in there as well.
Gotcha.
So now they need more muscle, they need more tissue, they need more skin.
Wow.
And I'm just like, wait a minute, didn't I do the bilateral mastectomy so that I wouldn't have to have more
Right.
surgeries?
That's right.
And instead it's gone the opposite, where I ended up with twice as many surgeries than I thought.
And this is intense. This is even more intense than the first one because
yeah.
you said it's 12 hours is what
Yeah.
the anticipated time is.
Correct.
And the healing is going to be intense. I mean,
It's
you're going to
gonna
have
be
a
gnarly.
walker and a wheelchair for the first
Correct.
month.
Correct.
That's huge.
Yeah.
That is huge. And so the recovery time is going to be, they anticipate it being slow.
Yeah.
Okay. But
Because I don't have core strength because my stomach has given out
Sure.
from the previous 2 surgeries, the one and then the reconstruction on my stomach. And so I don't have core strength at all.
Right.
So that's the primary of our body.
Right.
And then the next is our legs and our arms. So now I get to have a surgery that's going to limit my leg strength,
Sure.
movement. And then because you're having breast surgery, that limits your arm strength. So
right.
you're
To
like
lift
T-Rex.
up. Yeah, for
You're
sure.
like T-Rex
Yeah.
for the first while
Yeah.
because they don't want pulling on it and straining of it. So yeah, this one is called a tug flap, and
Okay.
it's the inner thigh. They need to steal the gracilis muscle, blood vessels, tissue, skin to rebuild everything.
Right.
Whether I want implants, whether I want to have projection, they have to do that
Sure.
just to get me healthy.
And you said just to put you at a neutral.
just to put me at a neutral.
Right. Which
And
is
they won't know, I won't know, and they won't know until they get in there whether I will come out flat and just skin,
okay.
excess skin, whether I'll be able to have spacers put in the preemptive future of putting implants,
Oh.
or straight to implants, because they don't know how
They don't know
diseased
how bad it is.
and how bad it is inside.
Wow. So that's a lot. And you're doing this in Santa Barbara.
I am doing it in
And
Santa
this
Barbara.
guy does it all the time. This surgeon does it all the time. So
Mark Soares, he is a dream.
good.
I
love
of
that.
all, when you get those women to male intuitive feelings,
Yeah.
and you don't feel comfortable with that doctor, don't doubt yourself.
Exactly.
Stop doubting yourself. Stop making excuses.
Mhm.
Listen to your body, because it's happening for a reason. That's the Lord communicating to you, whether
Absolutely.
you believe or not. That is the Lord communicating through your
Right.
body to tell you what is not right. And I never felt 100% ever with any visit to my previous surgeon's office. I never felt comfortable. I never
Oh.
felt happy. I never felt at peace. I always felt nervous. I always felt agitated or angry. And this surgeon has never, ever, ever, and his whole office have just
Wow.
been nothing but beautiful and calming and reassurative. And the skills and the experience that he has under his
Yeah.
belt, that he has a dual team of him and his father are both plastic surgeons.
Oh, that's awesome.
And they're microsurgeons. So now they will be able, through a microscope, to make sure that the blood vessels are attached properly and there is blood flow and nothing
Good.
becomes necrotic again.
So this is going to be the last surgery, is what you're saying,
No,
theoretically.
I wish. I
Oh,
wish.
it's not.
No, because if
Okay.
they can put spacers in, then I'll have to have a small exchange surgery where they'll just cut a little opening, pull out the spacer, which is a temporary implant that is
Okay.
fillable, either weekly, bi-weekly, or bi-monthly, or every other 3 weeks. And
Okay.
they fill with saline to stretch, to
Okay.
push the muscle out,
Sure.
to get the pocket ready for the future implant and to
Gotcha.
not have too much pain. So they fill it. They're going to take that spacer out. They'll pop the new implant in. I mean, would I like projection? Yeah. Who would battle this much,
Yeah.
go through this much, this many complications,
Sure.
not to want to feel somewhat like a woman again?
Yeah.
Sure.
And
Absolutely.
as women
That's fair.
and as a husband, you know
Yeah.
that sadly we define ourselves or our femininity by our
Yeah.
bodies.
Of course. I get that. I totally
Well,
understand.
and psychologically, I mean, that's going to help you
Mhm.
tremendously. You know,
For me, that's my decision that I know will help me.
Yeah.
Some women going flat and being over it
Doesn't
and
matter
being
to them
strong
either.
Wonder Woman
Yeah.
without it, fine, great. That's not for me. I was a G.
Yeah.
Forget to be tacky, but
Yeah.
I was a G before all this.
Right.
And so not having anything, it's been hard.
Yeah,
It's
for
been nice.
sure.
My back is like happy. My
Yeah.
shoulders are happy, but I mean, to
It's-
bring some humor in it.
Yeah.
But I
exactly.
mean, I want something again to feel normal and to not have to overhaul my wardrobe again
Of course. I know,
because
right?
nothing fit right.
Yeah. That's true too. No, I get it. That's true.
well, and I think it stresses the point again that we have to be our own advocates.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There's so many people that just take what they're told at face value. Okay, you're
Oh,
the
yeah.
doctor, and okay, we got to do it. But you've done your homework. You've done your research. You know what you want. You know what your body wants, and it's so important that anybody that goes through this get a second opinion. Don't
Third, fourth.
don't
Fourth,
right.
right?
Don't stick with your first
Exactly.
answer,
No, I agree.
because we have a friend that went through breast cancer surgery, and she
Right.
I mean, she was told we have to do double mastectomy, and I mean, she wasn't going to take it, and
Mhm.
she ended up finding a doctor that said, you don't need that, you need this, this, and this, and I think we can save you, and da 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 da, and
Yeah.
it worked
It did.
because she didn't take no for an answer.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
No two
which is
cancers are
great.
alike. No two humans are
That's
alike.
right.
Okay.
That's
We
right.
are all made differently for a reason.
Yep.
And we can all handle different things. And the outcomes are all different. And what we
That's right.
want is all different. And that's fine.
That's true.
But when you're in the midst of it, you're told this is what you have to do. This is what you can do. This is going to be your surgeon. You don't question it because you're so darn wrapped up
Mhm.
in your cancer diagnosis and
Sure.
am I going to die and the mortality and morbidity of it
Mhm.
that you are like, okay, just tell me what to do because I want to get this stuff out of me
Right.
instead of
Right.
worrying about finding the right fit.
Exactly.
And that's where I went wrong. My breast surgeon said, I work with this person.
Mhm.
This is a great person.
Let's do this.
I
yeah.
took her at face value. She is still amazing. She is still a godsend to me.
Mhm.
She is still within faith, a Christian.
Mhm.
To have a doctor that has cried with me in the office, that has prayed with me in the
Yeah.
office, is literally priceless. That
Yeah.
doesn't happen in the medical industry
Right.
anymore.
I'm shocked it did.
And
know.
I love her, and
That's great.
everybody love her. But
Yeah.
I will not take face value at somebody else's opinion, no matter how under the gun I am, because I would have rather to delay it more
Mhm.
than to end up like I did.
Sure.
But
But what advice would you give somebody then? If
don't
somebody
don't-
was in your shoes, like something like maybe they don't feel comfortable, just what advice would you give them?
Well, there's many things that come into play. There's, this referral, this is who
Right.
I work with, this is only who I work with, this is the only hospital I work with, or the insurance, no on that doctor. No, you don't have to take no for an answer. It's called an
Right.
appeal for a reason.
That's right.
So appeal the insurance,
there you go.
state your claim, write whatever you got to write, call your governor, call your senator,
Do whatever.
call the news, call whoever.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, being a small community,
Right.
I have had cancer coaches. My version, what I call them, mentors. They're cancer mentors.
Mhm.
They're people that have gone through it before. And I had 5 cancer coaches. And now, since my cancer diagnosis and remission, I have been a cancer coach to 2 other women.
That's awesome.
And now going to be a third because we just got a
You're paying
diagnosis
it forward.
from a family friend yesterday.
wow. I
Yeah.
love that. You
I love
are
you,
paying
Nanny.
it. Yeah, you're paying it forward. I think
It's so
that's
important that
awesome.
everybody does that.
Yeah, I think
It's
that's
we're
great.
all put on this earth for a reason,
Yes.
and
Amen.
you have to be able to work through it and deal with whether you get a basket of rotten oranges. You got to
Hmm.
be able to deal with it.
That's true.
Or in our case, we
Right.
took the lemons that we were given and we made lemonade.
Right. No, that's
And
You know?
lemon
true.
cake and
Yeah.
lemon
We're
muffins.
trying, right? Yeah.
We're trying.
Okay, this is the last question I'll ask you
Awesome.
because I think this is a good one. And so what would you tell someone that hasn't heard about 17 Strong or never heard of the organization? What would you tell them? How would you explain it or how would you tell them about it? Because I feel like you're a great advocate for it. So just, well, what would be the first thing you'd say to somebody?
We all know Make-A-Wish, and it's awesome, but there's a cusp of where
Yep.
they don't cover anymore, and that's their
Absolutely.
fine. I mean,
Absolutely.
you
You have
guys
to have
also
rules.
have
You
your
do. You have to.
criteria of
Right.
age range as well, but that's done for a reason.
Mhm.
There's Make-A-Wish for the younger
Mhm.
humans, and there's 17 Strong for the other humans, and that's what you guys are.
Yeah.
You are the Make-A-Wish. I don't know how should I say it, on crack or tenfold or whatever you want to call it. Forgive the phrase. I know, so
love
horrible.
it. No, that's
But
great.
it
I love
literally,
it.
it is the be all end all of adult cancer.
Right.
Well,
And do
thank
you
It
think
is.
it's more than a trip?
It is not a trip. It is a family.
There you go. She said it. I didn't
It
even
is
pay her.
a family.
Oh my gosh, it is.
I have literally made friends. I
Right.
have a support system. I have fallen in love with you two, in addition to
Aw.
everybody else on the board, and just happened to be friends and went to high school with one of the board members,
It's so funny.
Chris Antono.
Chris Antino. I love him.
But it
That
is
was
a
a free shout
community.
out to Chris.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like,
You're welcome,
"Hi."
Chris. That's
But
awesome.
it's not local anymore either, though.
No, it's
because
not.
you all have sent people from out of the
We
state,
have.
and how do we know if you guys don't want to do out of the country thing?
Yeah.
You know, that
Exactly.
could be a growth thing, but it
Yep.
is the silver lining to a hard road.
That's
It
so cool.
is the sun that comes shining down after a tornado or after a hurricane, and that sunbeam and that rainbow comes out. It is that goal at the end when you fought your butt off and you worked so hard to win, and now you've won, and now let's have some relaxation. It's not
Yes.
just a free trip. Oh, we go on a free trip, take a person with you.
Yeah.
No, it is, let's recoup. Let's heal
Absolutely.
our souls.
Let's reset.
Let's
That's right.
heal our mind, reset our bodies,
Mhm.
and just know that when we go on this trip, that we're just going up from there. And there is no more
Absolutely.
downs.
There's no more down.
Hiccups. We all have hiccups.
Yes.
It's life. But there's just ups from there. And it literally changed my life. If you look at the pictures of me smiling during treatment and then pictures of me smiling on my vacation, you could see it coming from my soul and
That's
my
awesome.
spirit.
That's awesome.
And now that I have been involved and try to push it and, promote it as much as I can, and my family promoting it
Yes.
as well, and being involved with galas and
Yeah.
fundraisers and getting you guys donations. I mean, I will forever want to be a part, and we all as recipients want to be more involved
Yeah.
wherever we can. And I'm like, okay, put me to work, put me to work, put me to
I
work.
love
Let's figure this
it.
out. I can still be on a laptop when I'm recouping,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can still help out. I still got many ideas,
Yeah.
I've been in production industry, so whatever.
I love it. I
But
love it. Thank you
it's so
so
much
much.
more.
I appreciate that. I didn't even.
There's no way to even top that.
I know.
That was.
I feel like I knew that was a great question for Leslie, just because she has a heart of gold, and she is
Thank
always
you.
Oh,
willing.
you need to
give.
plug your ears for this part.
know,
Sorry.
right?
I'm gonna cry, right? I'm like, I'm
I
gonna cry
know.
or what?
Yeah.
But anyway, that's
But we love you too, and
Thank you.
we're
I
so
love you both.
happy for you, and you will be in our thoughts and prayers as you go through this next surgery and this next
Yes.
battle, and we're just we're believing for you.
absolutely.
Thank you so
So,
much.
and
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
that's one thing we always say is that our victory trip recipients become part of our family, and that's
Yeah.
Oh,
important
yeah.
to us. We don't want to just send you on a trip and say, oh, no more.
Kick you to the
So-
curb.
And that's what happens,
not
I
gonna
think,
work.
with a lot of corporations. Like, they get involved for the moment.
Yeah.
But it's just a moment. And
It
this
is.
is not. This is
Yeah.
a lifestyle. This is a future. This is a support system. It's a family.
Yeah, I love
And
it.
I can't wait.
I
I
love
can't
that.
wait to
Yeah.
do more.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Leslie, it's been a pleasure having you. Thank you so much.
Yes.
And with that, we will wrap up another 17 Strong podcast. And
Absolutely.
if you'd like to donate or to find out more about 17 Strong, visit our website at 17strong.org. And thank you to our production team, Nate Hand.
Yes, thank you, Nate.
And we will see everybody next month for another 17 Strong podcast. Remember, attitude is everything.
You've been listening to 17 Strong. Victories don't come by accident. To be part of the show, make a donation, or request more information, go to 17strong.org. That's SEVENTEEN strong.org.